Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another True You podcast with me, Paula Burns, creative confidence and visibility mentor. So, this is a place where we have open discussions to understand who we are in order that we can live our lives to the fullest. And every week, I bring on a special guest, as someone who is living their version of their true life. And I like to bring on a variation of guests from various locations because it's important for you, the listener, to hear that there are different walks of life, different journeys, and there isn't one path for everyone. And so I am hoping that you are going to be inspired by this episode, which I'm sure you will. And I'm going to welcome my special guest today. Welcome, Nicole Bright.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Nicole. Really good to have you on the podcast. I'm looking forward to our conversation because it feels like I've known you for a while, but we haven't known each other for a while. But
Right.
Nicole's one of these people that you meet and you feel like you've known them. It's like a kindred spirit. And so I'm looking forward to just this conversation and just learning more about you. So Nicole, let's just kick things off. Tell everybody, what is it that you do?
So what you just said really struck me. I'm going to say that because one of the things I was thinking about when I was thinking about coming on with you is what I do translates to culture. It doesn't matter if you're in your culture in Wales or in the United States of America, the needs of women are just the same.
Absolutely.
After you get a divorce, your needs are just the same. And I really think that's a good thing. That's a good thing that we are so connected in that way where we need to realize no matter where our location is, we're all wonderful, beautiful women on this earth that
Yeah.
need to be connected. And so, what I love to do is be a bridge for these women, whether I'm speaking, giving a seminar, a full on motivational, or advising the women through divorce. See, I see myself, my brand, Nicole Bright, as a bridge. So, they're one place and they want to be here. And I'm taking them to that next place where they can get over the bridge and taking them where they need to be. So, I love advising women. I love speaking to them, and they have like a light bulb moment, like, yes, you know. So, although we're all intertwined, when you talk to these women, they think they're alone, but
Yeah.
they're not because they're maybe going through it differently, but we're all going through the same things in different ways. So, I love to make sure they know that. So, I love advising women through divorce. That is my niche. But I find that not just advising women through divorce, but through transition. Like you lose a job after you have a child. A lot of things goes on in your life when you're just wrapped up in those identities.
Mm,
And beyond the identity, who am I? What am I? And why am I here? So
yeah.
I hope I answered your question.
I know you've just put together that so clearly and so passionately as well because one thing happens to us and it sort of affects so many different areas of our lives. So it's that change. What happens to you when you get
Right.
divorced? It's the change of how your life just completely changes because it is one entity and then it's something else. And so you are then trying to navigate your way through that. And I suppose that's where you help women.
Yes, definitely. Because you lose who you are. That's the biggest
Yes.
thing. It is, and you're making decision in turmoil and trauma. And
Mm,
that's why my three steps is clarity, composure, and control. It's the
right.
3C framework that I have because once you get those three things, it helps you move on with your life.
Mm,
Now, I'm not saying you're gonna, my program is 12 weeks. I'm not gonna say within the 12 weeks we're gonna solve all your problems and all that, but I guarantee after those 12 weeks, you're gonna know what you need to do. You're gonna have tools in order to move on to a better life for yourself because people think that's just the end of things, but it's really just a new beginning. And it depends on how you want to create it. You're creating your life every day.
yeah. And that's so true what you said about, making decisions. Did you say making decisions through turmoil or, through panic? Or, if we think about the decisions that we make, and usually the ones that you make in haste are always the wrong ones.
Yes.
The ones that you go, oh my gosh, I just need to get this. I'm just scared. I just need to do this. It's because we haven't had that time to sort of like step back and evaluate and make an informed decision. We're making a decision based on panic. And so that really rang true what you said about, making decision in turmoil. That
Yeah, how does this gonna look a year from now, 2 years from now?
mm,
And that's what helped me just kind of mainstream them to, okay, let's talk through this. That's
yeah,
the biggest thing, talking from beginning to middle to end. And they're like, wow, because they didn't explore all the options. They're just in the right now.
yes,
And their right now is so unsure, so unclear. And they're just looking at right now, now, now. But especially if you have children, you have to look at 5 years from now. How is this going to look for your kids? The decisions that you're making right now. So I help slow them down and to look at that. That's why it's called what I am is strategic decision advisor during divorce, because you got to be strategic about it.
mm,
And so many successful women, they know by being professionals, CEOs and doctors, lawyers, whatever your big time profession is, they're used to making strategic decisions and being in control of things and all the things. But then when that comes in their personal life, they're like, whoa. But
yeah,
so those things are in them to do it. It's in them because they do in their professional life. But to take it over to a personal life, sometimes can be a hard thing to do. So that's part of what I help them do because it's already in them. I don't help them do anything that they're not able to do and very equipped to do
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's true. That's really true. Nicole, what is it that you love the most about what you do?
I love it when the women realize that they're going to be okay, that they have that light bulb moment and they know that things are going to be different, but no matter what, they're going to be okay. I love to help. That's my underlying word is help. I always knew from a little girl that I was going to help. I just didn't know how I was going to help. But when I went through divorce and went through all my trauma, then I said, oh, I can turn this into something great. And so I love it when they start understanding who they are and understanding, like I said, they're equipped and they can do this. And
Yeah,
and when I know I've helped somebody, people think this is such a selfless thing. No, this is very selfish on my behalf because it gives me great reward. It does. So that's what makes me feel the best when they get to that point where they know they're going to be okay. It's a great place to be, and to know I helped them get there. That's
yeah.
beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
love that. Now, you touched on what my next question is going to be because I always ask my guests this question. I want to know a little bit about your childhood because you touched on this. And the reason I ask that question is because I feel like there's always an invisible thread that runs through from the time you were young to when you are in your flow and doing what you truly love. Because I think the seeds are sort of sown during that time. And like you said, you always knew you were going to help, but you just didn't know how. And that was just such a great statement to make. I want to know, tell me a little bit about what your childhood was like, and then sort of growing up, and what were the steps that got you to where you are now?
So it's funny that you mentioned that because I just got done writing for anthology. So anthology, if people don't know, is a group of authors that come together and write about a common topic, and it's called Doing It Scared. And so I wrote a lot about my childhood in that because that's when it began for me, where I started doing it scared. So the biggest thing I would say, the common thread that has worked throughout my life from childhood was my low self-esteem, my
Wow.
insecurity. And in the book, I do share about how I had to repeat the very basic grade, which is kindergarten. And that made me feel like I was dumb, stupid, ignorant, and made me feel like I wasn't able to do things that other people were able to do. And so I built on that false identity for years and years. And it didn't help me to feel like didn't loved or cared about. I had a I had a different point of view about things, I think, than I do now, because I had a mother that she was essentially a single mom. My father had some issues. He was in a mental facility. He had mental health issues. And so it was just my mom. And so even seeing him have mental health issues, right? I reflected on myself. I'm like, oh no, he has issues. I must have issues too, right?
Mm.
I'm thinking that on top of, I think I have a learning disability. I'm diagnosing myself, at
Yeah,
5, 6 years
as we
old.
do, as we do. Yeah.
And did I have a mother that she obviously has some kind of learning disability? I still don't know to this day. She's still on this earth. I still don't know to this day because the family's very hush hush about things. But I don't know what totally's going on with her. But I just remember having such a low thought about my life, and my mother was very free with us, so I never got punished for anything really by her. My older sister kind of did some of the punishing, so I always felt unloved because I felt like when parents punish their kids, like I see my friends getting punished, I felt like they cared about them. So because you didn't punish me, I feel like you don't love me. You must not care about what I do. And so I walked around with that, which helped me have even more low self-esteem because I didn't feel loved. And so that was the basics of me getting into a toxic situation within marriage.
Mm.
So I guess I'll back up a little bit. When I got in church when I was 15. I started going to church, and they had a lot of rules, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I loved about church, because I felt like they had rules. They cared about me, right? They were telling me what to do and what not to do, which I didn't have at home. And so then when I met a man that had even more rules, I was like, oh, he really loves me. He
Yeah.
really loves me. But
Oh
how
my
many of us know that
goodness.
that's control?
The
And he was just wanting
stories
to
we tell
control
ourselves,
me.
oh my goodness, the stories we tell ourselves and then taken advantage of because of those stories that we've told ourselves. But carry on, carry on. This
Oh,
is yeah.
no, no, when you say the stories, and that's what I teach too when I do the advising, because when you do break up with somebody, you tell yourself stories in order to go
Mm,
on. So I help people to separate those emotional and usually negative thoughts to logical truth statements.
yeah,
And so I know that. So that has helped me in the current, because I'm thinking, even now, I tell myself stories. I'm like, wait a minute,
yeah,
where is the truth in this?
yeah. Is it true or is it just me making it up in my head? Because I'm great at making up stories.
Me too. Me
I
too. So
love
so I slowly started finding myself. And you know what made me find myself? It's becoming a mother.
it. Mm,
I remember being pregnant, and that's the first time I considered, where did this low self-esteem come from? I knew it was there, right? But I was like, where did this come from? And that's when I traced it back and I actually wrote a book at that time. But I was still living in it. I was still being abused. But I was able, that was my first instincts of reaching back, because I did not want to port that to my child.
yeah,
I didn't want her to get that from me. I didn't want to pass that on. That's the word. I didn't want to pass it
yeah,
on from one generation to another. So being a mother, I mean, it brings out things you never knew. And so that's what it brought out. By me loving her, it taught me how to love myself more.
yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. You've there's so much. There's
I
so much
know.
you've touched on there of your experiences and just the steps that took you to continued to take you to that place of low self-esteem, just lower and lower and lower. And what you were doing also is just adding up to say, to validate that yes,
Yes.
I am who I am. Yes, I have low self-esteem. Yeah, I just need the rules. I need this because, people love me and the stories and the more the trauma comes on, the more sometimes we say to ourselves, oh, this is right. This is how it's supposed to be because this
Because
is
we're
what
attracting that by this point. We're attracting it. And
yes.
we're having a void for things that are appearing in our lives.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So you sort of like got into a marriage and but tell us a little bit about then your career. So what kind of jobs did you do?
So, when I first got married, I was in school to become a teacher. I was in school to become an elementary teacher. And right before I went on my honeymoon, I landed this student assistant job for kindergartners. And I did that and I found out, I hate to say it, I don't like children. I did not like children at all. Like, like I want to say it that way. I guess it's kind of like my truth, but there was too much. I did
Yeah.
not care for all the kids and like I should in order to take this on as a career. So I
Mm,
was 2 years into school. And so I had just gotten married, like I said, and so I quit that job. I didn't even, I hate to say it was the one and only job I never even returned back, and I didn't say anything.
no.
Like they were calling me, and I'm like, I was so young then. I was
Fantastic.
22. I was just like, I'm not going back. I didn't know how to explain to them that I didn't want to go back. So I stopped going to school. And so what I basically did is my then husband was like, okay, well, you don't really have to work and just settle in being married. And so I started with this temp agency and I started picking up jobs here and there as he would go to work. And sometimes I would work, sometimes I wouldn't. And I was doing a lot of administrative work, like secretarial work. I ran an office at one point, was an office manager. And so then when the kid came 4 years later, I was a total stay-at-home mom for a little bit. But then when he started his own business, essentially I helped him run his real estate business. And as we were doing that, I was mentoring in church. I was heavily involved in church. I had mentoring young women for years. And one of the young women that I was mentoring, she says to me, "You should be a life coach."
Yeah.
I had no idea what that was. I'm like, a life coach. Okay.
Mhm.
So then I went back and I studied what it was because the underlying thing was in the beginning, before I was even a teacher, wanting to be a teacher, I should say, I wanted to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist. And
Mm,
then because of my low self-esteem, I thought, you can't do
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I dismissed it right away, even though I wouldn't talk to somebody
Mm,
about it, dismissed it right away and pursued teaching. And so then I'm back at okay, life coaching. So I studied them like, oh, that sounds just like me. And so I started building the framework. And my former husband, he was very good at building, the background of things, the infrastructure.
yeah.
And so he started helping me build a business to help women just like me, which at that time was Christian, married women that had children, trying to balance it all. So
Okay.
I started developing that. And that's what I was doing when my marriage broke up and like exploded. And so, of course, I didn't keep any of those clients. And then years later, I reassessed my life when someone says, "Oh, you're doing so well after your divorce." And that's when I started helping divorce. And I was a divorce coach for years. And then I reassessed and started being an advisor, which is a different position of everything. But yeah, so that's my journey within it. But the funny thing is that now I learn even the teaching is a big part of me because I do webinars and seminars and I love teaching, just not children.
Yeah.
So you really got to find out who you are, women, and know
Yeah.
what's inside of you. And you can use all your gifts in different ways. See, I knew that was a gift. I knew I loved teaching, but I just didn't know in what area. And so
Yeah.
I didn't know enough to do enough self-explanatory things to try to explore who I was. So yeah,
See, this is the thing. None of it is a waste. And
none
sometimes
of it.
we feel like, oh, I wish I'd done this ages ago, or why did I go through that, or why did I do whatever? It's all, and this is why I have this question. This is why I have this question because it's all your stepping stones that's led you to what you're doing now because you're calling on all of that experience that you learned along the way. Your core is obviously your caring nature and helping and mention. You were mentoring women way before you were doing this, and then you've now niched so that you're now working with divorced women. But honestly, everything about who you are was being built bit by bit,
That's
bit
right.
by bit for you to get to where you are now. And I just think it's so amazing when I have these conversations. It just never ceases to amaze me when I hear the stepping stones and just how amazing and how powerful women are, and sometimes not even realizing it, a lot of the times not realizing it, because what I do in terms of confidence and visibility is I work with midlife women, and it's a big thing for them. My niche is midlife women forgetting who they are, forgetting how powerful they are, not having the confidence to move forward, not knowing the steps to take, and feeling like they're invisible. One of the things that I hear a lot from people who are looking to work with me is that I feel invisible. I know I'm really great at what I do, but I'm just, I can't put myself out there. I can't, I'm watching everybody else. And so I just absolutely love the changes that I can see in people. And it's not necessarily, the only change is like you said, and you've touched on it earlier, is they've just rediscovered who they are, because
Right.
they're always there. That person is always there. They've just rediscovered who they are. I want to take a moment for the people who are listening. If you are enjoying this conversation, please hit the subscribe button, because honestly, these type of conversations are the conversations that are going to power you through to that next stage of living your true life, finding your true life, whatever that may be and whatever that looks like for you. So yes, hit the subscribe button. Nicole, I also want to ask you, was there a time that you felt like you lost your way?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. I just had one recently. It
Okay.
reappeared. It reappears so you can get aligned,
Yes.
realigned with
Yes.
what you're supposed to be doing. I just did a really, really big move. So I moved from one state to another, and it's not January, July the 1st has been my year being here. So I lost some things and I gained some things. And so I kind of lost my way a little bit thinking, was this the best decision?
Mm,
Because the things I lost were significant to me, but I guess they were no longer meant to be with me. And so that is very hard when that happens.
yeah.
And so I lost my way. I won't say it's the same way I lost my way when I got divorced, because that was a big change. It was
Mm,
a big change because I didn't know totally the power within that God had given me. But now I know. So when I lose my way now, I'm quicker to get back in line
it's your
because
compass,
I've done it
isn't it?
before.
Yes, it's a compass. It's
Yes.
sort of like, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, definitely a compass, definitely. And I'm always a big girl where I see the bright spots and darkness. I'm like, this is dark, but what can I find in this spot that's bright
Mhm.
that can help me get to really brighter places?
Yeah,
And that's one thing why my brand is Nicole Bright, because my legal name is Latasha Nicole. So Nicole is actually my middle name.
right.
And bright is what I want to bring to the world, my light.
Yeah.
And even when I left the marriage and already had a book or two done, I didn't feel strong enough even to walk in my own self, kind of. And I think that's one of the reasons why I did create the Nicole Bright brand. But her and I walk together now. We're cool. We're one. I don't have to step out in the Nicole Bright brand to Latasha myself. One, because we have one goal, we're the same person. But I think I did have that moment where I was different when I got on the stage as Nicole Bright to when I got off and lived my life, Latasha. I was really different. It's just like a famous what was that? I think it's Beyonce that says she gets into Sasha Fierce when she gets on the stage.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like how I was with Nicole Bright. But now we're one and it's just
One in
so
the
beautiful.
same. Yeah.
One in the same. So yeah. So I'm sorry, I got off your question totally. But I guess I hope I answered it. I was just saying that I just learned to get aligned really quickly. But when I lost my way, I really had to do some work, and I had to do my own work because I've laid it out for women. Because, oh, I guess I didn't stress what had happened. So I ended a relationship in January of 7 years. And so, although it's different than the divorce of 17 years relationship, this was the 7 year in some aspects was a bigger influence in my life because it was such a great relationship. And to leave something that is no longer being presented to align with you, that is still great, is harder than
Yeah.
leaving a toxic
Yeah.
relationship. So
Yeah.
now I have a different perspective for different women. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. And again, this goes back to show that the different journeys and the different experiences, it affects us in different ways. So have a relationship that's really great and then realizing that it doesn't serve you in the way that it could serve you or it should serve you. And I think you have more as the years go on and you are living your true self, you have more awareness, you're more intentional about how you live.
That's
I,
that's the
I
word.
yeah, I use that word all the time. I intentionally live my life. So when I'm making decisions, I'm thinking, does this serve me? Is this going to serve me going forward? Is this something that I need in my life right now? Or is this person somebody, are they someone that is going to enhance my life or in a way that matches the journey that I'm on? Because I think people feel like, they the other person has to be exactly the same as them, and that's not the case at all. It's like I see it as two jigsaw pieces, and it's like you're one piece, the other person's the other piece, and you put them together and they fit.
Yes.
Is how I see it. They're two different pieces, but when you put
Yes.
them together, they actually fit. And I think there's a lot of people and a lot of couples out there right now who are trying to squeeze pieces together that don't actually fit.
Ooh. Oh, I need
Powerful.
to give you a pulpit. You are preaching.
I'm
I
telling
love
you,
it.
girl. I am
Oh,
telling you. I'm seeing it so often. And I thought, no, I am just so aware now of what and who that I want in my life that I am not going to make rash decisions. I am going to be very sort of like open and communicative about what it is that I need in my life. You know?
I love it. I love it. That's because you know you, and that's the
Yes.
first step to
The
get to know
first.
yourself. I
Yeah.
have found myself dimming my light so many times and muting my voice so
Yeah.
many times. But when you love yourself like you should, those things are hard to do.
Yeah. You don't have to dim your light. You don't have to dim your light for the right people to be around you because they just get you. They just
That's
get you.
right. They
So
just get
yeah,
you.
you can just be yourself.
Yeah.
I love us.
I do too.
Oh, so I want to ask you now, how scary was it for you to, I mean, you've gone through so many things anyway, but I feel like when you decide to sort of do your thing in terms of your business and how you're running it and all of that, it sometimes can be quite scary because it's something different. You're stepping into an unknown space, and we have the voices in our heads that say, oh, well, are we doing the right thing? Is this right? Can I do it? And also there's negative maybe voices around you as well that might say, oh, well, just what's this all about, or they just don't get it. So what was it like for you? Did you feel supported? Did you feel sort of like, was there any negative feelings around you moving into this area of business?
So I had a lot of feelings. So the number one was my financial obligation.
Mm,
Right now I have a daughter in college and I still have a son at home going to high school. So I have to really, as they get closer of being totally, sufficient on their own,
yeah,
it gets easier though. But at this moment right now, I feel a heavy responsibility. So financially, fears. So, because
yeah,
the more I spend on my business, and I was like, I could be working out there, making this money, making that money, so I had to get over that.
yeah,
I do have a beautiful support system, though. I have really three close friends that I call my Trinity. and they all are three supportive. When one's not doing something, somebody else is. It's like they're very supportive of me. And my former mate that I just spoke about, that we just path,
Yeah.
you know, he was very, very supportive of me, was in my life for that reason,
Yeah.
to let Nicole Bright come forth.
Yeah.
So I have gotten to the point where I do it scared. That's what the book I just was
Mm.
help writing is all about, doing it scared.
Mm.
Because in order to do it scared, I look at, like, okay, so you have a fog, right? All around you, can't see where you're going, but you only can see far enough to walk. And that's
Mm.
what a faith walk is. And that's what I do. I have faith to walk through that fog, and I see, and then I walk some more. Oh, I see that. Then I
Yeah.
walk some more.
Yeah.
And that's how I retain clarity. But it is a sense of, you have like maybe the imposter syndrome, like, oh, can I really help these ladies? Who am I? I'm going through my own things. And
Mm.
that's what makes me mighty, going through my own things and recovering and coming back with more for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so those are the things that have worked against me, but worked with me too. But it all boils down to, it's bigger than me. It's
Mm.
bigger than me. It's not even about me. I want to help these women. I am there for them because I know what it meant for me to have my life fall apart and seeing the flames all around it burning down, and I could not go back,
Mm.
and not knowing what to do. So that's why I have to help these women. That's why if they need me, I'm there for them.
Yeah.
So it's bigger than me. So I just do it scared.
Yeah. I love that, doing it scared. I love
Yeah.
that. And that is the biggest fear when you leave paid employment, so to speak, regular income coming in. That is the biggest fear, because we have built lives based on regular income coming in. Because,
That's right.
our life is all about that, all the stuff that we've got to pay for. If we were living off grid, we wouldn't need to, would we? But, we've got to pay for all this stuff. And as you say, if you've got children, that's even more important for you to, when you're making decisions. But also, because I don't have any children, but I remember when I left corporate, that was still a very big worry for me. But I also knew that I felt like, am I being fulfilled?
Oh,
That was the
yes.
question I asked myself.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
knew I wasn't. I was just going through the motions. I was living my life for the weekend. It was just draining me. I wasn't using any of my skills. I'm an ideas person. I couldn't do any of that. It was just weird. But outside of work, I was doing lots of things that was me. But I needed to be more myself. And
Yes.
so I just thought, I can't do this because, something big happened. And sometimes that's what happens. Something big happens in your life to push you. And my mum was diagnosed terminally ill. And this was back over 20 years ago now. And I remember thinking, this is my exact thought, it was, life is not a rehearsal. It's not a rehearsal. We have got this time to do and to be who we should be,
That's
and
right.
we need to do it. You know,
I
uh,
love that.
we need to do it. And I was convinced, and I thought, I can't do it. I know my mum had a lot of things that she would have liked to have done. Her health wasn't as great as it could have been. And I thought, I'm doing this for her. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing it for us all, for humankind, to really, and the more I can get this message out to people about living their true lives and being themselves and really enjoying that process, that's what lights me up. And so you're
Oh,
so right where you said about, you have to just go scared because you know that this fulfills you.
that's right.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. I literally have wept for women that I wanting to get to. Like
Yeah.
I say, God, you gotta let me get to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I could talk to you for hours, but
Ditto, ditto.
but we're coming to the end, but I've got some quick fire questions.
Okay.
Well, I always ask these questions at the end because they sort of just pull everything together, what we've discussed. So the first question is, do you understand what makes you truly happy?
Yes. Helping others. Yes.
I,
Yeah, even when people have little light bulb moments, even them talking to people daily and noticing them, giving a compliment, letting them know that they matter. That makes me happy.
yeah.
And it makes me happy when people do it for me too. I'm
Yeah.
not selfless. I
Yeah.
love the give back. I love the communication.
Mm,
That's what makes me happy to connect. Like I'm connecting with you right now. The
yeah.
rest of my day is gonna be like chocolate cake.
Fantastic. Yeah, I know. I know. It is like an understanding. And the reason I ask this question is because you would be surprised how many people do not necessarily my guests, but I think people who are listening. And when I work with clients and I ask, do you know what makes you happy? Do you know what you enjoy? And they don't. They've
Mhm.
forgotten. They've like, they hesitate. They're like,
Wow.
they really don't know what those things are. And even if it's little things that and especially if you know the things that make you happy, you bring more of that into your life. If you don't
Yes.
know, you're not bringing it in, and that's why you've got the angst and the pressures
Oh,
and the,
yes. Yes. That's it. That's
I know,
it.
I know. The next question, how are you with getting still to feel emotion?
Oh gosh. I feel emotion all the time, right? But my problem is being still in it sometimes because I'm got so much going on.
Yeah,
But I love it when people redirect me, like my daughter the other day. She says, I don't know, before she left, she's not here. She went to California for an internship, but before she left, she says, Mom, you've been mean for the whole week. You've been not nice for the whole week. What's going on? And I looked at her and said, I don't know. And so I thought about it. And I thought about it's coming up on the anniversary where the ex and I had plans for him to move here and we were
right.
going to connect and all these things were going to happen that and not my body knew it,
Yeah,
but my mind wasn't dealing with it. So I had to sit in that emotion. And
yes.
after she brought it to me, and because I'm so busy moving. So
Mm,
sitting in it is one thing that I have not
yeah.
conquered. I have not mastered, I would say. So when it's brought to my attention, because I'm all about self-improvement, when it's
Mm,
brought to my attention, I love people to call me out. I'm like,
yeah,
okay. So then I did work through it and I
yeah,
did what I need to do in order to get better.
yeah. Sitting with those emotions are the hardest things, isn't it? And that's something I've learned over the last few years because I'm a very positive person and I'm always like looking for the lesson or looking for the thing or what's the next thing, or how can I move past this? So, I still do that, but I have to now I've become more aware that yeah,
Okay.
I need to sit with this. Why am I feeling like this? Let me
Mm-hmm.
sit with it for a while and deal with it
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then move on, not sit in it forever. Because that's one thing,
Right.
you get people who like, oh, just wallowing in it. No, no,
Yes.
I don't do that. I just sit with it. And even if I have to have a good cry, I'll have a good cry
Yes.
and then it
I love
washes
it.
over me and then let's go.
Let's
So
go.
yeah, let's go. Um, have you found your tribe?
Yes, yes. Um, I actually feel like I moved to this. I've actually the new people that have been positioned around, and oh, I just recently found my tribe, and I'm still learning about them. I'm still getting in there, but I have such clarity, and yeah, I have. That makes me feel so good. I have found my tribe.
Love it,
Yes,
love it. We all need our tribe. We all need people around us who just get us and love us,
yes,
who we love. So yeah. And finally, do you love yourself unconditionally?
I do. I do. I can say that I'm hard on her. I'm maybe I don't think I have conditions, but I think sometimes I am critic of me. So I have to back up and say, okay, wait. If Shantae did this, you would be patting her on the back, like it's okay. But because I did, I'm like, what's going on with you, Nicole? You know better. So
Yeah.
that's learning to love yourself unconditionally, learning how you love others, and
Yeah.
loving yourself that way and more. So
Yeah.
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
I am. I feel like I do. Well, if I don't at times, I feel like I learn to progress in that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I always say it's understanding that we are a work in progress. So it doesn't mean that think that we're perfect. It's just that we love the journey that we're on, and we love the way
Yes.
that our mind works, and we love all of those things about us. And yes, we make mistakes, but how do we deal with those mistakes?
Yeah.
So it's all of those things that we love about us. I mean, I say that, I've said that so many times to people. I love me. I
I have a
absolutely,
song for me. I have a
yes,
song. Yes.
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 Nicole, it has been my absolute joy, my absolute
Thank
joy talking
you.
to you today. I've
Me
loved,
too.
loved, loved every minute of our
Me
conversation.
too. Me too.
Oh, if people want to find you, where's the easiest place for them to find you?
So I usually say, I'm going to switch it up a little bit and add to it. I usually say, go to NicoleBright.com and you can put in your information. We can connect one-on-one. I'll email you all that. You can still do that. But I want to switch it up and say, follow Nicole Bright Official on Instagram because I have things coming up
Great.
and I'll be announcing them on Instagram. So I'm old, right? So I'm just seeing the power of, of social media because I'm
Don't be
doing
using
something.
that word old. Don't be using that word old.
Okay. I'm getting older and I don't think I understood the power. I was just telling people to communicate with me through the website so I
Oh
can talk to
no,
them,
so
which
sure.
is
Get on there.
fine.
Yeah.
Because maybe they don't want to talk to me right away. Maybe they want to follow me and learn about me and
Yes.
watch
Yeah.
some of my crazy videos. So
Nice.
go and find Nicole Bright's official. So Bright is spelled, well, Nicole is spelled without a C. I mean, without an H. Some people spell it with an H. And
Yeah.
then Bright is spelled Bright.
Great.
Bright, not the Brite. Some people spell it that way.
Yes.
But so follow me there because I actually hooked up with a partner and she dresses women like she's a she works on the outside, and I'm always working on the inside. I never thought about how you show up when you go through these transitions. You
Absolutely.
don't even know how to wear your hair or what to dress and how to find the confidence. But anyway, we're doing something like it's going to be like inside out, helping women inside out. So we're going to be
Love
doing
it.
seminars and stuff. So just follow me and I will give you directions and you can contact me directly and I'll keep you in the loop too. I just wanted to throw that out. Thank you for giving me the
Oh,
opportunity.
a amazing. I will share your links anyway. So those will go out when this goes live, whatever links you want shared, I will put that out so people can find you. But
Thank
I just wanted to sort of obviously ask you that question while we're here now so people can hear. Again, thank you so much for this time, spending this time with me, sharing your story. I am sure I've been inspired, so I'm sure that my listeners
you.
are inspired as well. Um, to everyone listening, I hope you've taken away, even if it's a small nugget from this conversation. I'm going to be back next week with another amazing guest. But in the meantime, keep being the true you. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.